Hey guys, welcome back to part 6. I'm losing track, there's so many.
6.
Part 6, Nate's watching the Star Wars movies in chronological order. If you haven't checked out the other videos, by all means, pause this one, open a new tab, watch 1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, and then this one.
Yeah.
And jump right in with us. So Nate's watched episode 4 now, and overall, broad, general thoughts of the movie. Interestingly enough, you're watching them in chronological order.
Correct.
So you have now gone from 2000 or 99 or 2000,
Yep.
all the way up to this point, and you are going way back in time to 1977.
Yes.
So
yes. So I can see how in 1977 this would have been a hit movie. And obviously was. But it was very well structured. And I think George Lucas did a very good job of leaving both ends of his story open. And of course, I haven't seen 5 and 6, but like there was obviously stuff happening.
yeah,
Like the first time you watched it, I guarantee you thought, man, there's more to this.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Now, obviously, it gives a little description at the beginning, but
yeah.
you knew there was more going on than just this isolated movie.
Right.
So, or at least I would hope. Maybe that's a bias because I know there are more. But.
No, absolutely. When I was a kid, I didn't think about it when I was a kid, but I saw it. Books. I saw it. Comic books. I saw it. The West End Games books where you did the role-playing stuff. I wanted those books to read and learn more about this. Now I'm talking, this is after the original trilogy had been released.
Okay.
But, I mean, I was trying to suck in as much knowledge as I could because I found this whole world fascinating. But yeah, when I'm sure I was too young in 1970, well, yeah, I was way too young in the first 1977 movie. But as I got older, I couldn't imagine going in to see that in the movie theater, walking out going, I just saw one of the coolest things at that point in time, technology-wise.
Right.
Great story. I just watched this, and not knowing if there was ever going to be another thing.
Right.
So,
Makes sense.
I couldn't imagine.
The continuation from Rogue One into Episode 4 was wonderful.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job of that. And you guys kind of told me that. That's why I ended up watching the 2 movies before we filmed. That's because, you guys told me, watch Rogue One, have 4 teed up and ready to go.
Yep.
Luckily, me and my kid were sick one day.
Luckily.
And I was like, this is what I'm doing. So, literally got done with it, turned on the next one. Actually, probably got done with it, changed a diaper, turned on to the next one.
Yeah.
And it was a flawless transition.
Yeah.
And now I had the background knowledge of this is what's happening.
Right.
So I will say this: the graphics, they're not great. Like the CG, like the special effects, they're not great.
Sure.
Because it's 1977, but they're a lot better than I expected.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're pretty legit because they used actual models.
And
so
being in 77, I could see, now I was born in 1994, so like, I've always grown up with better graphics. But they still weren't bad.
Right. Well, ILM.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the nerdy techie guy
That's
on
the
this
people
stuff.
that did all this stuff, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to, so like I watched the 1984 Dune when I was in high school with my dad. That was terrible graphics.
Yes.
Terrible special effects.
Yes.
Like, I'm pretty sure they had a sock puppet for the worms. But this, like, you see the animals in the background, you're like, okay. You could tell, but it almost looked like what we would produce in the early 2000s.
Sure. You watched it on Disney Plus at this point, so you actually saw what would be more the special edition re-release
Ah.
So there was
They
stuff that,
re-released it in the mid '90s with some minor CG updates to it.
and a little cleaned up,
Yeah.
overall, but still,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
Still
even if you go
looks
back and look at the original one, it's still, I'd say, what, 95% of it is there.
yeah,
Okay.
recolored is, just that's about it. Just a
Okay.
higher definition is all.
Well, I was expecting less, and I got more, which was a nice surprise.
Lucas invented industrial light and magic basically to do this movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, got a bunch of smart guys and said,
Yeah.
here's my problems,
Yep.
figure it out, here's some money.
Nice.
And they just, they actually, made a lot of own devices and stuff that they ended up using on other movies and
Huh.
kind of completely changed the way that you do stuff, especially through the 80s.
But what's the cameras? I don't know what they're called, but the robotic cameras that run the same track every time as you're pulling a model.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I'm asking him. I
don't know.
But whatever the motion tracking.
Motion track.
Yeah, I mean they invented that,
Huh.
and now they still use it to this day, updated and better, obviously.
Sure,
but
but-
they invented so much stuff. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Storyline wise, does Vader know that Leia is his daughter?
Not in this movie. There was
Okay.
never this movie in A New Hope was released. George had a concept of everything, but I when this movie was released, my guess is he didn't know there would be a sequel.
Okay.
So no.
Because like in 3, obviously the kids are given away to Ortega. No. We literally just talked about this. What's the senator's name? Organa. I'm not going to get the names right. You can crucify me on the internet. That's fine.
By all means, comment and tell Nate how bad he is with Star Wars names.
Terrible.
Please.
So, Organa,
He takes
he takes Leia, and then Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan
takes
Luke to
Owen and
to
Owen, yeah.
Baru.
Uncle
Lars.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
On Tatooine.
Nice.
Oh, I'm learning.
Nice.
So, but I wondered that because obviously Leia and Vader have that interaction in 4 where he captures the ship and captures her,
Right.
and they talk, and I'm like, neither one I don't think knows, but I also
Right.
I feel like he's the kind to play the cards close to his chest, but he was also kind of mean to her, so I was like,
The original Star Wars, no. There was none of that wonderful plot twist
Okay.
at that point.
sure.
I mean, that came along later, and because George Lucas is he's a crapshoot at dialogue. You never know if it's going to be good or bad.
Okay.
But he does have a interesting way of writing the script, but leaving enough, not plot holes, but leaving enough holes in a script where you can insert some other stuff here, there.
Okay.
He's just got a knack for that. Unless that's a curse, I don't know. But
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
but no, they didn't know. They had no idea.
Okay. On the lighter side, I did like and we talked about this off camera earlier. It's fine. Everything's fine. Like there were comedic parts to it.
How many times have we quoted that this week? I mean,
probably 4.
probably. Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
And then he just shoots the heck out of it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's potentially one of, and we're, I don't know. That's probably one of the most used quotes in this shop.
Mm-hmm.
Some will get dropped. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you?
He did really well in that role.
Boring conversation anyway. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, we go through that all the time.
That's awesome. Very good. What was the other thing? Okay. This is where I'm going to ask your opinion. Because I have heard of this, and it now makes sense. Did Han shoot first?
Oh hell yes! Zero hesitation.
Okay,
and I never
100%.
cuss on the YouTube channel, but hell yes, he did.
All right.
Absolutely.
So when I was watching, I watched the whole thing, and it looked weird.
Yeah.
Because it looked like they shot at the same time.
There's your 90s special effect
that was
special
part
edition.
of the,
That was one of the things.
Because I looked that up later, and I was like, I knew the controversy. I watched the scene. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
No, that's why it looks like his head like warps out of the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then comes back.
And then I was like,
Yes.
well, now I got to look it up because it looked like they shot at the same time, and I saw that they had dubbed it in later.
Yep.
That he did not, or they shot at the same time, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So.
No, the original was
Greedo doesn't ever shoot.
never shoots. He pulls
Really?
the gun out. He's got it on the table. Han puts his leg up and fires under the table and just lights him up.
See, I like that better than what happened.
Absolutely.
Or what-
Yep. But when
I
he
like that better than what was shown.
right, but I think potentially they wanted to show that Han wasn't a cold-blooded killer or a bad guy, which nobody ever thought he was.
Yeah.
And I think
They just thought he was opportunistic, and
yeah,
here's the opportunity to not go in on a bounty.
Yeah.
yep.
Exactly.
Bye.
They ruined that. So
Mhm.
you're gonna start wearing a shirt around that just says Han shot first.
All right,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna be a nerd. Awesome.
We will.
Thank you guys.
We will show you the despecialized edition
Okay.
that somebody has gone back and cleaned up and done a phenomenal job with and made it original again,
Okay.
theatrical release. And yeah, I'll have to show you that scene because
The OG version. All right.
it makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, yeah, and then
Yeah.
I looked it up. So, because you guys had always talked about that.
Yeah.
Just wasn't sure.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Luke obviously introduces Luke's character to the entire story arc. He is starting his journey on the Force. On the Force, is that the right term?
Sure.
With the Force.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever.
I know what you mean.
I come from a cop family, so on the Force, right?
Oh yeah, there you go.
But he's starting his journey. I'm assuming he progresses because I know later on he has like a lightsaber and he's the hero.
Right.
So I will be very interested to see what happens with him
Yeah.
and how they make that progress.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So
It's very well done, and you'll be like, oh yeah, it makes sense. And then we'll throw a couple monkey wrenches into that for you later when
Great.
you watch it, and you'll be like, wait a minute.
great, awesome.
That's all right. That's
all right. I could definitely see how originally when this movie was released, they went for the good versus evil.
Uh-huh.
The Imperial is evil, the Rebel Alliance is good, black and white, but now I get what you're talking about, especially because I watched in chronological order,
Got to Rogue One.
how the way that they've made it later on is it starts to break that out and kind of decompose the idea of the black and white.
The TV series or the Disney Plus series do more of that, where you're seeing good guys be actually. Andor, perfect example. Cassian Andor, actually in this.
Well, you saw
In
it.
Rogue
You saw it
One.
in
Yeah, he's in
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
He blatantly just murders a guy
Yeah.
right
that was,
there.
That it was helping him.
It was helping him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And-
like the opening scene.
Right, which to sadly, not that murder is right, but to most people like us watching a movie, we go, "Oh, that sucks. He had to do that." But obviously, that guy, if he was captured,
Yeah.
and you're gonna start seeing where the good guys aren't always good.
Yep.
They're good. Their cause is good.
Right.
The good guys aren't always good. The bad guys aren't always bad. So the series have kind of merged that to where there's a lot of gray area
Right.
where people operate. It's super cool. I actually like that better. It's more realistic.
Right. And I always, obviously, the parallel is there from Nazi Germany, the Empire, right? So I interpret it as like occupied France,
Yeah.
right? Like he's in the resistance. You're not going to get it away with colorful language and thoughts of peace.
Right.
You're going to have shit's blood.
Right.
And it's not pretty when you do that. So it really didn't faze me when he did that.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, there it was.
But it's all perspective too. That's what's so interesting to me as I get older, or as I got older, watching the Star Wars universe. When the original 3 were out, and we were getting ready to have Episode 1 come out, I was always on the fence. Who were really the good guys and who were really the bad guys? Emperor Palpatine, which you'll meet later, Darth Vader, bad guys.
Bad dudes.
But then you've got the Rebel Alliance, who's now going in and potentially freeing people that are under the Empire that want to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the Empire is good, but you know,
Yeah.
I always struggle with that too.
Yeah.
That yeah.
Well, in today's day and age, the Rebel Alliance would be labeled as a terrorist
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
organization.
Well,
Yeah.
in the Empire, one of their things is peace, and
Yeah.
Anakin even says it. I will bring peace and prosperity
Peace to
to
the
my
galaxy,
new galaxy or
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
My new Empire.
New Empire. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just it'll be very interesting to watch the next couple. I'm excited to watch them and see what plays out.
Well, not to jump ahead, but Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, is my all-time, bar none, favorite.
Okay.
If I had to choose one VHS tape to take with me to
Deserted
Castaway's Island,
Yeah.
I would take Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
The island with electricity and a VCR.
Yes, and squirrels running and playing my VHS tapes.
Nice.
Do they even make VCRs anymore? Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have anything else on Episode 4?
That was pretty much my thoughts. Is it was a nice continuation. Obviously, for those who watched it in the original order, it was the catalyst to everything.
Yeah.
For me, watching it chronologically, it was nice continuation.
So, overall, when you watched it, you knew it was dated, 77, but did you find it slow paced? Did you find it interesting?
See, I thought it was pretty much picking up immediately.
Uh-huh.
And I think if I would have watched it as the original or the first, I would have been very confused.
Yeah, sure.
Because it immediately jumps into, we're chasing these guys because they stole the plans for the Death Star, and I wouldn't have known what was going on. Which
Yeah.
I like sci-fi like that because I read a lot of sci-fi, and usually in sci-fi movies or in sci-fi books, in my case, because I like to read them.
You pick up halfway through the story.
Yeah, the author will introduce a new idea, new technology, and then they will give context clues to what it is or how it works. But like Dune is one of my favorite series. Frank Herbert doesn't give a crap. You catch up. You catch up later, and we're moving on with the story.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to take in, I'm sure, when you watch, if that's the first one you start with.
Right.
I thought they just jumped right into it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I always feel like Episode 4, I love Episode 4, probably my fourth favorite of the franchise. But now when I go back and watch it, I find that it is very slow paced in my opinion, and it's kind of boring.
Really?
And I like it,
Yeah.
but I'd rather watch that than half the other stuff out right now. But
Sure. Yeah, I would have had a bunch of questions at the beginning. Like, why are we chasing these people? What is... Okay.
Sure.
I would have been confused. So.
absolutely. Do you have any profound questions?
Nope.
I didn't have a lot of profound thoughts on
Yeah, I
this.
mean it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, fairly so.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
good though.
Well, we'll just wrap this up
All right.
and get ready for Episode 5,
Kyle's favorite.
Empire Strikes Back, my all-time favorite movie, bar none.
All right. I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll probably hate it.
Yeah, probably.
No, we have lots of cool stuff in that one. So, guys, thank you for watching again, and we will see you in the next video. But first, make sure you run down there and hit that like and subscribe button. 77% of you are not subscribed that watch our channel, and you need to be, or Nate will cry. So, we'll see you in the next video.